Ukaverenga Bhaibheri uchasangana nemhando dzaMwari dzakasiyana-siyana. Pana Mwari anoporesa, oro the God who heals. Jobho rimwe remazuva arwara, azara maronda pamuviri wake, anoporeswa naMwari kusvika skin yake yaita seyemucheche. Job was encountering the Lord who heals. Elijah rimwe remazuva asisina chikafu, anovigirwa chingwa nemakondo. He was meeting the God who's able to provide. Israelite kana yoenda kuhondo yorwa nemaFilistia, yorwa nedzimwe nyika dzakaikomberedza, vaitungamirwa by the Lord who fights their battles. Kune vanga vasina mufaro vaisangana with the Lord who is our joy. Kune vanga vasina rugare vaisangana with the Lord who is our peace. Asi ukaverenga Bhaibheri pane imwe mhando yaMwari inoonekwa, of the God who's able to elevate people, of the God who's the lifter of men, of the Lord who's able to prosper people, and the Lord who's able to take people unto greater heights. He is the God of elevation. Ndo mhando yaMwari yandinoda kumbotsigirira masikati ano, the God of elevation. Mwari anoporesa takambomuona, patairwara takaporeswa naJehovha ende tinotenda. Pataitambudzika, the Lord was able to provide. Pataiva muhondo dzakasiyana-siyana, God was able to fight our battles. But pane mhando yaMwari yatauda kuti timbonamata, timboti Mwari timbosanganawo nayo, of the God who's able to elevate us, of the God who's able to prosper us, and the God who's able to bring us to greater heights, the God of elevation. Kana uri kuteerera video rinori, ingotaurawo ngoti the God of elevation, the God of elevation. Mwari vanosimudzira, Mwari vane nyasha dzekusimudzira vanhu, Mwari vane simba rekusimudzira vanhu, Mwari vanorangarira vanhu vachivasimudzira, vachivaisa pamusoro. Ndichatanga nemaexample akati one day muBhaibheri atinoona vanhu vachisimudzirwa naJehovha, where God was the lifter of men, kuti tinyatsokuona kuti zveshuwa God is able to elevate people. Zveshuwa God is able to bring people to greater heights. Vazhinji vakafamba naMwari vakasimudzwa naJehovha. Vazhinji vakafamba naMwari vakasimudzwa nesimba raJesu, vakasimudzwa nenyasha dzaJehovha. Mwari is able to elevate you. Mwari is able to lift you. Mwari is able to bring you to greater heights, because he is the God of elevation. Tikatarisa Joseph was a prisoner after abva kumba kwaPotiphar, as he later became a ruler in Egypt. He was elevated by God from being a prisoner to being a ruler in Egypt. He was lifted by God from being a prisoner to being a ruler. He was remembered by God. He was enabled by God. He was empowered by God. He was given that grace by God. Mwari vakaratidza simba ravo, Mwari vakaelevata Joseph from being a prisoner up until he became a ruler in Egypt. Mwari vane nyasha dzekukusimudzira, Mwari vane chinangwa chekukusimudzira. God has a purpose of elevating you, and God has the grace, he has the strength, and he has the capability to elevate you and to raise you. Masimudziro avakaita Joseph, Mwari vanogona kukusimudzira. Masimudziro avakaita Joseph, Mwari vanogona kukurangarira. Just believe in your heart this afternoon, believe in the God of elevation, and say, God, like the way you elevated Joseph, you are able to elevate me. The way you were able to remember Joseph while he was in prison, you are also able to elevate me. Joseph ari in prison, he wasn't forgotten by God. Joseph ari in prison, he was waiting for an encounter to meet the God of elevation. Angakamirira encounter yekuti asangane with the God who's able to elevate. And it is my prayer this afternoon that you meet the God who's able to elevate, kuti usangane naMwari vanogona kusimudzira, kuti usangane naMwari vane nyasha dzekukusimudzira, vane simba vanogona kukusimudzira, the God of elevation. Tikaverenga zveBhaibheri tichasangana nemumwe murume anonzi Daniel anoenda kunzvimbo yeBhabhiloni whilst he was a slave, or whilst he was a captive. As ari munzvimbo yeBhabhiloni, he later became the governor of Babylon. He encountered the God of elevation. He met the God of elevation. He was elevated by the God of elevation. Akasimudzwa naMwari vane nyasha dzekusimudza vanhu. Akarangarirwa naMwari vane nyasha dzekusimudza vanhu. Today God is able to lift you. Today, God has the grace to lift you the same way that was able to lift Daniel, the same way that was able to remember Daniel. God can remember you today. God can give you his power today. God can give you his strength today. God can elevate you today. He's the God of elevation. He elevated Daniel up until he became a governor in Babylon. He's able to elevate you today, no matter you are a slave of whatever thing, even if you are a slave to your finances, even if you are a slave in your health, kana mari dzako dzisiri kubatika, you are a slave to your finances. God is able to elevate you, even if you are a slave to bad health, unongorwara zvisingaite, but God has the strength to elevate you today. He can elevate you up until you become a governor in your finances, up until you become a governor in your health, up until you become a governor in your marriage, up until you become a governor in your academics. God has the power to elevate. God has the strength to elevate. God has the grace to elevate. God has everything that he needs. He has everything that's needed to elevate you. He's able to elevate you the same way that he elevated Daniel, the same way that he elevated Joseph. God is able to elevate you. Tikaverenga zveBhaibheri redu tichasanganazve nemumwe murume anonzi David. David was a shepherd in Israel. Aifudza makwai ababa vake, aifudza makwai kumasango. He was a shepherd boy in Israel, but he later became the king of Israel. Nekuti kuna Mwari vane elevation, nekuti kuna Mwari vane nyasha dzekusimudza, nekuti kuna Mwari vanogona kurangarira, nekuti kuna Mwari vanogona kuchengeta munhu up until his purpose and his plans for that person has been accomplished. I want to tell you this afternoon that God has a plan for everyone. I want to tell you this afternoon kuti Mwari vane chinangwa, kuti Mwari vane chirongwa nemunhu wese. Ukaverenga kuna Jeremiah 29:11 panoti, for I know the plans that I have for you. God says he has good plans for you. God has plans to prosper us. God has plans to elevate us. I'm telling you this afternoon that God has a plan to elevate you. I'm telling you this afternoon that God has a plan to lift you on high. Mwari ane chinangwa chekuku elevate. Mwari ane chinangwa chekuku elevate. David was elevated from being a shepherd boy up until he became the king in Israel. God has a plan to elevate you too. God has the strength to elevate you too. Believe in the God of elevation. Keep holding on to the God of elevation. Keep clinging unto the Lord of elevation, and he shall elevate you, and he shall prosper you. Mwari vachakusimudzira, Mwari vachakurangarira, Mwari vachakuratidza simba ravo, and you shall walk from being a shepherd boy in Israel up until you become a king in Israel, because the Lord is able to elevate people. Now, tikaverengazve tosangana nemumwe mukadzi anonzi Esther. Esther was an orphan, but she was elevated by God up until she became the queen. God is able to elevate you. God is able to elevate you. God is able to remember you. Mwari vanogona kukurangarira. From being an orphan, Esther became the queen. I'm speaking to many orphans today. You might be an orphan today. Unogona wakafirwa namai kana na baba, but God is able to elevate you. Hauzwe orphan yatanga kurarama nhasi. There was Esther was an orphan, but she was later elevated by God. Esther was also an orphan. As akarangarirwa na Jehovah, there's the Lord who's able to elevate orphans. Kune nyasha Mwari dzavanadzo to elevate orphans and up until they become queens. He is the God of elevation. He has the strength to elevate people. He has the power to elevate people. He has the capacity to elevate people. He has the ability to elevate people. Mwari vanogona kuku elevate. Mwari vanogona kukusimudzira. Mwari vane nyasha dzekuku elevate. Believe today in the God of elevation, and he shall elevate you like what he did to Esther. From being an orphan, you shall become a queen, because God is able to elevate you. Now, tikatarisa zvemuBhaibheri, ipo panyaya yaEsther ipapo pane mumwe murume ainzi Mordecai. Mordecai was a gatekeeper, but he later became a prime official in the land, and he was a gatekeeper. Aivhurira vanhu magedhi, ndoraiva basa raMordecai, and keeping the gates and watching over the gates. Asi Mordecai anoti aelevatwa naJehovha, avaone magods ake angakuvhurirawo gate nevamwe vanhu, and he now also had his own gatekeepers, and God is able to elevate you from being a gatekeeper up until you have your own gatekeepers, and up until you have people who open doors for you, and up until you have people who open gates for you. Is the God who's able to elevate you, is the God who's able to lift you, is the God who's able to remember you. I need you to believe in the God of elevation. I need you to believe in the God of elevation. Like Mordecai, he can lift you from being a gatekeeper up until you have people who open gates for you. God is able to do that. Do not doubt God this afternoon. Do not doubt the God of elevation. God is able to elevate people. God is able to remember people. Keep believing in God that is able to elevate you. Keep believing in God that is able to prosper you. Keep believing in God that is able to remember you, and you shall see the elevation of the Lord. Is the Lord of elevation. Akasimudzira Mordecai, akasimudzira Esther, akasimudzira Joseph, akasimudzira David. Why am I giving you these examples of people who have been elevated by God? I'm trying to show you that if you walk with God, He's going to elevate you. Ukatenda muna Jehovah, He's going to elevate you. Most of the people who walked with God, they were elevated. When Mashinji vakafamba na Jehovah, they were elevated. Peter was just a fisherman, but when he met Jesus, Jesus says, I'm making you a fisher of men. He was elevated by God from being a fisherman to being a fisher of men. That was the elevation that he received from Christ. Ukafamba na Jehovah, uno elevatwa. Ukafamba na Mwari, uno elevatwa. Ukakumbira nyasha dze elevation, unodziwana. Ukakumbira simba re elevation, unosangana naro. Believe that God is able to elevate you. Trust that God is able to elevate you. Keep believing in God. Keep believing in His power that is able to elevate you. Vese vakafamba na Jehovah vakasimudzirwa na Mwari. Vese vakafamba na Jehovah vakasimudzirwa na Mwari. Believe in the God of elevation this afternoon. Trust in the God of elevation this afternoon. He is able to elevate you, and He is able to prosper you. Now, my example evanhu vakaelevatwa naMwari vakawanda, but hatigoni kuvataura tikavapedza vese. Vamwe vacho vanosanganisira vanana Gideon. He came from a weak family, but he was elevated by God up until he fought for his people. And mumwe wacho anga ari Hannah anga asina vana, but he was elevated by God, and up until he became king avawo nevana vake. And that only shows God is able to what? To elevate people. Even Abraham anga asina vana, but God was able to elevate him up until he became the father of all nations. How can Abraham, who's the father of no nation, become the father of all nations? Abraham had no son, and how could a nation come out of Abraham who had no son? But God says, Abraham, I'm going to elevate you, and I'm going to make you the father of all nations. If you believe God is able to elevate you, God is able to elevate you. If you trust that God is able to elevate you, God will elevate you. Ukatenda kuti Mwari vanogona kukusimudzira, Mwari vachakusimudzira. Believe in the God of elevation, and He's going to elevate you. Tenda kuna Mwari we elevation, and achakusimudzira. Akaelevata vana Joseph, akaelevata vana David. Vese vanofamba na Jehovah vakaelevatwa na Jehovah. Chitenda in the God of elevation, and you shall see elevation in your life. Now, pandiri kutaura nyaya iyi handika, why am I talking about the God of elevation today? And because there's a voice of elevation that God is speaking over the earth, and we need to react to this voice of elevation. Marira vari kutaura panyika. And what is the voice of elevation that God is speaking over the earth today? The voice of elevation tinoriwana pamanzwa akataurwa naDavid achitaura over the house of Saul. And David anoti, ndianiko wekuimba yaSauro asara wandingaitira nyasha? Ndianiko wekuimba yaSauro wandingarangarira? And that is the same voice that God is speaking today with regards to elevation. And He is saying, who on earth can I remember? Who on earth can I elevate? Who on earth can I lift? Who on earth can I show my mercy? Who on earth can I show my grace of elevation? Mwari vari kuda kutisimudzira. God has a plan of elevating us, and God is asking this question today: who on earth can I elevate? Who on earth can can I remember? Who on earth can I show the grace of elevation? Zvakuda munhu anoaligna himself so that he can be elevated by God. Zvakuda munhu anoaligna himself to the plan and to the purpose of God, so that when God speaks this voice upon the earth every day, you are able to be elevated by God. God is asking this afternoon, who on earth can I elevate? You can be elevated by God. You can be empowered by God. You can be lifted by God. You can be prospered by God, because God has that power and God has that potential and God has that capacity to elevate you and to remember you. God is speaking this voice today. Who can I elevate? Ndiani wandingarangarira? Align yourself to God. Align yourself to His power. Align yourself with God, and He's going to elevate you, because God is asking from the heavens, who in the church can I elevate? Who in the province can I elevate? Who in the nation can I elevate? Position yourself, align yourself, so that you can receive elevation from God. Now, before God can elevate you, you first have to believe that God is able to elevate you. And believe that God is able to elevate you. Believe in the God of elevation. Believe that God is the lifter of men. Tenda kuti Mwari vanogona kukuelevate. Tenda kuti Mwari vanogona kukusimudzira. Believe in the God of elevation. God cannot work outside our faith. Mwari havagoni kuita chinhu chatisingagoni kutenda. Ukatarisa mu-New Testament, Jesper aifamba achiporesa vanhu, aitanga obvunza oti, unotenda here? Munhu akati, hongu ndinotenda. Jesu obva ati, let it be done according to your faith. If you want God to elevate you, you have to believe that He is able to elevate you. Kana uchida kusimudzirwa naMwari, unofanirwa kutenda kuti Mwari anogona kukusimudzira. Believe that God is able to elevate you. Tenda kuti Mwari anogona kukusimudzira. Believe that God is able to prosper you. God cannot do for you what you believe that it is impossible. If you believe that God can elevate you, God is then going to elevate you. Do you believe this afternoon that God has the grace to elevate you? Do you believe this afternoon that God has the power to elevate you? Do you believe this afternoon that God has the plan to elevate you? Unotenda here masikati ano kuti Mwari vane chinangwa chekukusimudzira. Believe in the God of elevation, and when you believe that God is able to elevate you, wakuvhura madoo ekuti Mwari vakusimudzire. You are now attracting yourself to God's elevation. You are now aligning yourself to God's elevation. If you believe in elevation, you are attracting elevation for yourself. If you believe God is able and to elevate you, you are attracting elevation upon your life. If you believe that God is able to elevate you, elevation will descend upon your life. If you believe that God is able to elevate you, elevation will pour upon your life. If you believe that God is able to elevate you, elevation ichadzika, elevation ichaonekwa mukati meupenyu hwako. Tenda masikati ano kuti God is able to elevate you. Believe this afternoon that God is able to remember you. Believe this afternoon that God is able to walk with you. He walked with Joseph from the prison up until he became a ruler. He walked with Daniel from being a captive up until he became a governor. He walked with David from being a shepherd of sheep up until he became the shepherd of Israel. God is able to walk with you. Do you believe that God is able to elevate you? Do you believe that God can elevate you? Believe God this afternoon. Nekuti ukatenda muna Jesu, you are attracting His elevation. If you believe that He's able to elevate you, you are attracting His divine elevation. If you believe in elevation, you are calling elevation upon you. You are seeking elevation upon you. You are inviting elevation upon your life. Believe in elevation this afternoon, and God is going to elevate you. Believe in elevation, because faith attracts elevation. Now, todongoona pashoma pekuti ndepapi faith paino attract elevation. And we first see in Abraham, and Abraham anonzi Mwari uraya mwana wako mukomana umwe ega. But Abraham in faith, he was willing to kill Isaac, and then God had to stop him. And Abraham, when he wanted to kill Isaac, he was exposing his faith, and he was showing his faith. God is able to what? To elevate him. And when Abraham displayed that faith, then elevation came unto Abraham, and God says unto Abraham, you shall become the father of 4 nations. God says unto Abraham, count all the stars of the sky, and don't number because Abraham believed, God was able to elevate him. Because Abraham believed, if you believe God this afternoon, like what Abraham did, then elevation is going to come your way. If you believe this afternoon that God is able to elevate you, then elevation is going to come your way. Believe in the God of elevation. Believe in the God who's able to prosper men. Believe in the God who's the lifter of men. Believe that God is able to elevate you, and God is going to elevate you. Vanogona kukurangarira Jehovah. Now, tikatarisa vanhu vakawanda vakaelevatwa naMwari because of faith. I'm giving you examples where people exposed their faith, where people showed their faith, and God was able to remember them based on the faith yanga varatidza. Mumwe watinoona ndiDaniel, and Daniel pakapiwa a decree yekuti do not pray, and but Daniel in faith, he was able to pray, and he was exposing his faith, and he was showing his faith. And pakazoti pauya mugomba reshumba vanhu vazhinji vaiurawa neshumba, and but God was able to elevate Daniel to a level yekuti hana kurumwa neshumba. Why? Because when Daniel continued to pray, he was showing his faith with God, and that faith was rewarded by the elevation, and he was able to survive the lions. And if you believe and you keep on praying, if you believe and you keep on seeking God like Daniel was able to do, if you keep exercising your faith, if you do not backslide, if you keep walking with God, God is going to reward you with elevation, just like what he did to Daniel. God is going to elevate you to a level yekuti shumba dzikurume. God is going to elevate you to a level yekuti shumba dzinokurespect. God is able to elevate you to a level yekuti hauaffectwe neshumba. Kana ndiri kutaura shumba, ndiri kubvira the economy of this country. Kana ndiri kutaura shumba, ndiri kutaura the health, the bad health yatosangana nayo. Kana ndiri kutaura shumba, ndiri kutaura about bad marriage yatosangana nawo. Kana ndiri kutaura shumba, ndiri kutaura about kufoira muzvikoro. If you keep on believing and if you show your faith, God is able to elevate you to a level yekuti hauchabatike neshumba, to a level yekuti you won't be disturbed by shumba. Believe God this afternoon, and you are going to attract his elevation upon your life. Now, my example atinoona vanhu vachidisposa faith yavo akawanda mubhaibheri. Imwe yacho ndiShadrach, Meshach naAbednego. They clearly say kuti we are not going to bow, and they are showing their faith in God kuti we won't compromise our faith in God for anything. They were able to stand on their faith. They were able to defend their faith. After they defend their faith yavo, they were later and they were promoted in Babylon. If you stick to your faith, if you choose to believe in the God of elevation, if you choose to wait on God, that God is able to elevate me, if you choose to stick to your faith, if you choose to wait upon God and say, come rain, come thunder, I'm going to wait upon the Lord, elevation is going to come upon you. You are going to be elevated in Babylon only if you stick to your faith. This afternoon, I need you to believe that God is able to elevate you, just like what happened to Esther. Esther anotaura achiti, if I perish, I perish, and achienda kunotaura naking, and Esther was showing her faith, and when she showed her faith, asvika kuna mambo, she was then elevated. If you show your faith, if you expose your faith, if you stick to your faith, and if you choose to believe in the God of elevation, God is able to prosper you. God is able to remember you. Mwari vanogona kukurangarira. He is the God of elevation. Now, my example atinoona vanhu vachiporeswa naMwari based on faith akawandisa yekuti tikada kumataura hatingagona kumapedza, where people had to believe, and after they believed, God was able to reward them with elevation. Because when you believe, you are attracting elevation, and when you believe, you are calling upon elevation. In my example yatinoona is the woman who had the issue of blood, and she says in her heart, if I only touch the garment of Jesus, I shall be made whole. And she's exercising her faith, she's she's demonstrating her faith and she's saying, ndikangobata chete mupendero waJesu, I am going to be made whole. She is exercising her faith, and her faith was rewarded with elevation. Pakanobata mupendero waJesu, immediately she was made whole. Therefore, if you believe in elevation, if you believe that God is able to elevate you from your sickness, if you believe that God is able to elevate you from whatever situation that you are in, the situation that this woman was in, ever situation in Europe, but whatever situation that you are in, if you believe that God is able to elevate you, surely is going to elevate you. I need you to believe this afternoon. I need you to hold on to your faith. I need you to cling to your faith, because God is going to reward every act of faith with elevation. Believe in the God of elevation. Believe that God is able to elevate you. Tenda muna Jehovah kuti anogona kukusimudzira. The last example where we see people believing and they were elevated is the issue of Bartimaeus. And Bartimaeus, after answer kuti ndiJesu weNazareta ari kudarika, Bartimaeus anoramba achichema, and he kept on crying achingoti, mwanakomana waDhavhidhi andinzwirei ngoni hanika, despite vanhu vachimunyararidza hanika. Bartimaeus in faith, he kept on calling, and vanhu vapaside pake vanomunyararidza kuti Bartimaeus nyarara, as iye in faith he kept on calling, hoping kuti mwanakomana waDhavhidhi achamunzwa achidanidzira. And his faith was rewarded when Jesus actually turned and called Bartimaeus and healed him. Ukatenda mu elevation, expose faith from elevation. If you demonstrate faith that God is able to elevate you, Mwari vachaku elevate. Tenda kuti Mwari vanogona kuku elevate. Tenda kuti Mwari vanogona kukusimudzira. Tenda kuti Mwari vanogona kukurangarira. Believe in the God of elevation. Tenda kuti Mwari vanogona kuku elevate. Now, apa ndanga ndichitaura about my examples akawanda where people demonstrated their faith and they were rewarded with elevation. So number one, faith is a tool that you can use to attract elevation. Another tool that attracts elevation besides faith is humility. And if you are a humble person, you attract elevation. If you are a humble person before God, you invite elevation. Kana uri humble, you are calling upon the elevation of God to come upon your life. And tinozona pana David had the chance to kill Saul, but in the cave, but he chose not to kill Saul because he was humble. And later David was rewarded, and later even became the king of Israel. And that shows that if you are a humble person, if you choose not to kill Saul, if you choose not to persecute your enemies, God is going to remember you and is going to elevate you. If you are a humble person, elevation is going to come unto you. The other example yatinoona is the example ya Hannah. And paishu ya Hannah chakaitika ndechekuti Hannah anga asina mwana, then she prayed and poured out her soul before God, and he poured out her brokenness before God. Kusvika Mwari varangarira Hannah, kusvika Mwari vaitira Hannah nyasha. And therefore if you pour your heart unto God in true humility and in true submission, God is going to remember you. If you are humble before God, if you ask with a sincere heart, ukakumbira nemoyo unorevesa, Mwari vanogona kukuelevate, Mwari vanogona kukuitira nyasha, Mwari vanogona kukurangarira. Like Hannah, be humble and ask from God. Like Hannah, pour out your heart before God. God will be able to elevate you, God will be able to prosper you, and God will be able to remember you. He is the God of elevation, and He is able to remember people. The last example, because of time, about people who were humble and elevated by God, is the parable of the prodigal son. And the prodigal son, after arasika kwesoka anozofunga kudzokera kumba, and he returned home and he confessed his sin, and he asked to be a servant, not a son. And that was him humbling himself. And as a reward of that, the father welcomed him, and he gave him a ring, and he gave him a new garment, and he says, forever you shall be my son. And that shows that if you humble yourself before God, God is able to elevate you. Humility attracts elevation. Humility invites elevation. Humility calls for elevation. If you humble yourself before God, He is able to elevate you. If you humble yourself before God, He is able to remember you. If you humble yourself before God, elevation will descend upon your life. God is able to elevate you. I need you to believe that this afternoon. If you believe in elevation, God is going to elevate you. If you humble yourself, you are going to call for the elevation of God. We are moving in the season of elevation, and you have to believe in elevation. You have to believe that God is able to elevate you. Unofanirwa kutenda kuti Mwari vanogona kukusimudzira, ende ivo Jehovah vachakusimudzira nekuti watenda kuti vanogona kukusimudzira. He is the God of elevation. He elevated so many people. He elevated several people. God is able to elevate you this afternoon. God is able to remember you this afternoon. Believe in the God of elevation, and He is going to elevate you. Believe in the God of elevation. Be humble and believe in God, and He is going to elevate you. Thank you so much.